Hey, it's Mike Bass from TalkBass. I'm just here to demonstrate a couple things. Hopefully maybe put to rest the myth that PRS, the new model PRS 4-string basses are kind of crappy. This one here, I'm not so sure the exact age. Is an ash body. You can't really see it, but there's a pretty nice flame maple top on this. It has volume, tone control. This is their active passive switch, which engages the proprietary Paul Reed Smith preamp, which I will say, as everybody does happen to mention, is relatively useless. It doesn't make any sense. Used this bass a million times live since I've had it, and it doesn't really, you get lost in the mix. It doesn't really do much. I usually just run it passive. Eventually I'm just going to yank this sucker out of here and put something different in, maybe Demeter or Sadowski or something along those lines, or I just leave it passive. Also, what I'll be messing around with tonight is, for a hot second, is the I have a HipShot detuner with the new, I don't know if you can really see it on here, this has the new double stop lever on it, which gives you two different positions. You can go to E, you can go all the way down to, I have it tuned to C. The mid position is actually tuned to D. So I got an option of E, got an option of B, and an option of C on here. So here we go. I'm just going to play a couple things and just let you hear it. Just so you know, I'm not running through my normal bass rig. I'm actually running through my Roland keyboard amp, the KC500. My normal rig's actually at rehearsal, and actually broken up at rehearsal and in the studio. So the bass is basically run flat through the amp. There's no really any bass boost or treble or anything on it. It's just as it is. Passive control is all the way up. Both pickups will be all the way on, and the poopy little preamp by Paul Reed Smith will be turned off. Okay, so here you go. Just play a couple little things for you. Nothing special. Just gonna run through some crap. Here we go. Again, that was with both pickups on full, passive tone control on the bass all the way forward. I'm going to roll the front pickup off, and if you notice, the rear pickup actually has a pretty good amount of, I don't know if you can pick it up on here, but it actually does hum, so they are true single coils. But the rear pickup actually by itself has quite a bit of nice low end. It doesn't get real nasally and real thin like a typical, like a jazz bass style pickup does. I'm not so sure what that's attributed to. Pickups appear to be in the normal 70s position, even though I haven't measured them out to see if they actually fall in a typical Fender jazz bass 70s position. I should add, it's ash body, flame maple top, rosewood fingerboard, and maple neck on the bass. I had mentioned that earlier. So here you go. I'm just going to roll the front pickup fully off, just roll the rear pickup fully on it, and I'm going to roll the passive tone control back about maybe 25%. So. It says rear pickup. I'm going to roll the front pickup on, roll the rear pickup off. I'm just going to run it to keep the tone control right about the way it was, about 25% rolled back. So gives a really kind of nice P bass, almost I would say more so than a jazz bass front pickup, closer maybe to a P bass front pickup, but indeed it still does hum. Don't know if it's picking it up, but here's the front pickup. that was the front pickup. Again, I'm just kind of banging around. I'm really not going for much playing wise. Just kind of giving you an idea of what the bass sounds like. I'm gonna mess around with the HipShot for a moment. Just basically everything was a straight up E. It's simple. The only problem that I did mention, I actually wrote on Talk Bass. There's a thread in the accessories hardware, I believe, about the HipShot double stop lever. I made a couple comments about it. It does hold the tuning pretty well, as a typical HipShot does. It's never going to be perfect going back and forth, because I think the windings kind of hang up on the string a little bit. Or the windings of the string hang up on the nut just a little bit, so it'll never be 100% on. But damn it, it's close enough for rock and roll. There you go. Going down to D, it gets a little tricky, and I'll try to maybe show you this best I can. As I flip the bass over here, there's really no good way to get it onto the camera, but there is a little set screw. If you go to the HipShot website, it shows it pretty darn well. It's a little set screw kind of located back up over, here, right up over here. Excited to see a tip of it sticking out, and it goes through there. The only problem is, if in the past I've had a HipShot on every 4-string I've pretty much ever owned. The only problem is, if you flip in, pretty much in the midst of battle on the gig, on a typical HipShot, you flip it, you're all the way down to D. Boom, done, because you only have one position. If you notice what I just did, though, it skips right past the second position. And it flips very easily into that third position. So when you're flipping down to the first position, the first detuned position, you have to be very careful not to flip it too much. You actually kind of grab it, kind of hold it a little bit when you're playing. It's kind of what I've learned to do on it. It is a pretty good piece. Sorry about my cat. He likes getting involved. You have to be very careful, because you just bump it just a little bit and it will flip down to the C position where I have it tuned. You can go lower on a 4-string. I use 45, 65, 80, and 100 on the E string. I find that the E string gets a little sloppy when it kind of gets down to anything below really D flat. C is a little bit questionable. I'm going to be bumping up my gauge on my E string to a 105, see if that helps correct it a little bit. But it does hold tuning pretty well. The other problem is, if you lose a little Allen wrench to adjust that set screw on here on the lever, pretty much be SOL on the gig. You're going to have to skip right past down and tune it to D, or however you're going to have it tuned, like as a normal HipShot, because it is an Allen set screw that goes through the lever to give you that first position. So I'm just going to play a couple real simple things in the same line or whatever it is, and flip it to D, then I'll flip it to C, so you can kind of give an idea what it sounds like. Just FYI, the strings on a bass are pretty dead. I haven't had a chance to change them. I have gigs this weekend, and I plan on doing it tonight, but I thought I'd throw this up, so here you go. Again, this is in the... you heard everything in the normal E position. I'm just going to leave the bass set, both pickups full on, tone kick back about 25%. Here's the D position. Just so you can hear it, here's the harmonic D, and here would be the harmonic D on the E, which was the E string, now it's the D string. So pretty damn close. I set it up just normal, how you normally set up a D tuner ahead of time. So yeah, so it holds a D pretty well. So now I'm gonna drop it to the C position, which is all the way down. You notice I said barely have to touch this lever, and it will drop right to the C. HipShot, if you're listening, maybe you can do a little bit more work on this bad boy so it doesn't flip to C too easy. Nonetheless, here's the C position. Again, I'll just hit, here's your C, that's your 3rd fret A string. There you go. So it seems to be pretty, it does hold it pretty well, but like I said, it does get a little questionable when you're going down that low with this, at least with a 100 gauge. And on this bass here, this is a D'Addario XL 45, 65, 80, 100. So also the octaves get kind of strange on here. When you're tuned to D, your octave, you're basically, if I'm on the 3rd fret, is your 3rd fret and your 3rd fret. When you tune to C, it would be like your 3rd fret, and then it'd be like your 1st fret. So you kind of get to do the little backwards position here. Here's your root, here's your octave. When you're tuned to D, here's your root, and your octave would be here. I don't know if you guys can follow that at all, but anyway. about it. Give you a couple of things going on at once here. The PRS 4-string, which they don't make anymore. I have a feeling if they weren't guitar builders building basses, they might have hit the mark a little bit better. Another thing that is kind of crappy about the bass is pickup tops are rounded, got a little bit of sharp edge. Don't give you a real good place to rest your thumb. Something that probably wasn't taken into consideration a whole heck of a lot, and talked to a whole lot of bass players about it. Also, it's got their proprietary bridge on it, which is kind of hip. Doesn't necessarily go string through body, goes strings hook into the base of the bridge as opposed to running to the back of the bridge. So it does pretty well there. Good solid mass, nothing. I haven't found any problems with it. I think it sounds pretty good. Again, it's ash body, flame maple top. Can't quite see it in here. It's actually a pretty nice flame maple top. Rosewood fingerboard, maple neck. They're cool basses. You can usually pick them up on the used market. $800-900, and I have a feeling it's going to go up since they didn't make them for very long. So if you guys are looking for a nice high quality banger, I would almost actually suggest checking them out. Don't believe a lot of what you do read on like things like TalkBass, maybe even the Gear page. There's a couple guys on there that do like them. I think they're a pretty high quality instrument. They're handmade USA. Pretty killing. Is this a keeper long-term bass? Time will tell. I go through basses like most guys go through socks, so we'll see. This one may be around for a while because I do like cranking on to 4-string as much as I like playing my Valenti 5 and also my Roscoe 6. But I do like taking a 4-string to a gig. And now with this double stop lever, kind of really opens it up a little bit more. Some gigs I might normally take a 5-string to, I'll go ahead and take the 4-string because it's a little bit more fun to just kind of grab the neck and kind of bang away on a 4 sometimes. So there you have it. Hope this helps a little bit, dispel some myths about these basses, and give you an idea about the HipShot. Hopefully maybe some HipShots listening. It does something about how that lever just kind of jumps into that bottom position a little bit too easy. There are some guys, Jocko 3X from Chicago, mentioned about he has one on one of his Lakelands that he even has it set different ways, and you actually go tune up, you tune half steps. You can do any combination of tunings that you want with it. I just use it just traditional E down to D and down to C. So there you have it. I'm going to play a couple more seconds. Let's see how this thing sounds. I might even kick in this goofy old preamp on this thing. I don't know what in the world Paul Reed Smith was thinking when they built this preamp because it kind of sucks. Ah. And here's his dumb preamp. I guess if you're doing regular dub, it'll be killing. Other than that, it's really useless on the gig. I can't find anything good. Can't find anything good use for it on it. But anyway, I like it passive. Probably could do this in a lot shorter than 14 minutes. What do you think? Bye.